Passport mandatory? Can I become a cabin crew if I'm 17 years old? What is the minimum height requirement to become a cabin crew? Do I have to pay for any aviation courses? Hello to my future cabin crew. My name is Ruchita. As the thumbnail suggests, today we are going to talk about how to become a cabin crew. Now, before we proceed, listen to this very carefully. This video is divided into two parts. The first segment, we are going to talk about what is the eligibility or the requirements that is needed by an airline for you to become a cabin crew. The second segment talks about what is the first step you need to take to become a cabin crew. Now, if you know about the eligibility criteria, you do not have any confusion or anything as such. The timestamps are given right below, so just click on the timestamp for the second segment for you to easily navigate through the video. Now, if you're a bit confused about what is the requirement and what is the eligibility criteria, then this video is definitely for you. So for the first segment, we have divided this segment as well into two parts, for domestic airlines and for international airlines. Now, for the first half, we are going to talk about the domestic airlines, and then we are going to move to the international airlines. Domestic airlines is airlines which are based in India, like Indigo, Air India, Akasa, SpiceJet, and so on. Now, what is the requirement or the eligibility criteria to become a cabin crew in a domestic airline? The first eligibility is that you need to be an Indian citizen with an Indian passport. Now, passport is a mandatory document in Indian aviation because as an Indian aircraft or Indian airlines to fly internationally. So to fly internationally, of course, you need a passport. Now, to all the candidates who were asking, is passport mandatory? I mean, I don't have a passport. What to do next? Can I go for the interview? The answer is yes. Yes, you can go for the interview. So what you need to do is that apply for passport. You will get an application number and carry a Aadhaar card or a PAN card with you during the interview. So when you reach or the HR asks whether you have a passport or not, just mention it to her that you have got the application number, you've already applied for the same, and you have your Aadhaar card with you right now. That will be all. Second eligibility criteria is the age requirement for freshers and the age requirement for experienced people. So for fresher, the minimum age is 18 years and the maximum age for a fresher is 27 years. So till 27 years as a fresher with no prior experience, you can apply for as a cabin crew. For experienced candidate, the maximum age criteria is 35 years old. Till 35 years, you can apply for the role of a cabin crew. That doesn't mean that you can work till 35. You can apply till 35 and work till as long as you want, till you're fit to fly for the duties. Next, moving on to third eligibility criteria, educational qualification. So for educational qualification, you need to pass 10+2 examination with any recognized university or board with a minimum of 50% marks in any stream, be it arts, science, commerce, any stream. The fourth eligibility criteria is that you need to be fluent and have clarity of speech in English and Hindi. That is a mandatory requirement. That is the requirement for communication round as well during the interview. So all the very best. Work on your communication skills. I always tell this to every one of my candidates that please do work on your communication skills. Alright, moving on to the fifth eligibility criteria is the minimum height requirement. So for minimum height requirement for a female candidate is 155 centimeters, domestic airlines. And for male candidate, it's usually 167 centimeters. And your weight should be proportional to your height, that is as far as your BMI. If you are not sure what your BMI should be, there are ample amount of BMI calculators available in the internet. Just write BMI calculator, enter your age and your height and your current weight. You will get to see a parameter which states that whether your BMI is normal or you're underweight or you're overweight. You can judge from there. Sixth point as eligibility criteria, you need to show positive body language. Now, communication is something that 10% is about what we say. The majority or 90 or 80% is about how our body language is. Alright, you need to have a positive body language. Now, this were the eligibility criteria to become a cabin crew in domestic airlines in India. Now, talking about few things that majority of the candidates who have no experience prior or are fresher has a misconception about it. First thing, you do not need to have an aviation course. Guys, I can't put much emphasis on this fact that you do not need any aviation course from any institute. Nothing. It's not a mandatory requirement. Sometimes I even heard someone saying that you need to have an aviation course because they will give priority. Otherwise, they won't give priority to you. I mean, people are saying random stuff. It's not a requirement. To be very honest, I am from an IT background. I worked in an IT industry and then I moved to become a cabin crew. I just wanted to fly for some time. I never joined any aviation institute, nor do I possess any aviation courses or certificate. So you do not need any aviation courses. I don't know, there are a number of videos or vlogs stating that you need an aviation course, and there are a number of vlogs stating that you do not need an aviation course. Trust me, you do not need an aviation course. However, if you think that your communication skills needs to be brushed up a little bit, your body language needs to be polished, then definitely go for it. But do not have high expectation that they're going to make you land into a job, because that's completely a different perspective. Second thing that you need to be extremely careful about is that there are a number of institutes or schools claiming that you need to join them because XYZ company only hires from their institute. No, there was, I won't name that institute, but there was one airline which was associated, international airline, which was associated with that institute before, but now it has changed. That international airline is also not hiring from that institute. So it's not a requirement. It's not a mandatory requirement to join an institute for you to become a cabin crew. So be very mindful about these few facts. Now, talking about international airlines. What is international airlines? Are airlines which are based out of India. Now, all this eligibility criteria is a generic or an average eligibility criteria that you need to possess in more or less all the airlines based out of India. Now, talking about the first requirement, passport is mandatory. Whether you go for the interview, you cannot, over here, you cannot say that I can give you the application number and all. Over here, your passport is mandatory. It is utmost important. First eligibility criteria, you need to have a passport. Second is that the height requirement. So the height is it differs from airline to airline. The minimum height requirement is 158 centimeters for a few airlines, and for few airlines it's 160 or 161 centimeter. If you want me to make a video regarding that about a particular airline, then do mention that airline name in the comment section so that it's easy for me to make a video. Moving on to the third eligibility criteria is the arm reach. So the arm reach needs to be 212 centimeters. You have to be in your tiptoe. For females, you can be on tiptoe and then you can reach your arm. It needs to be 212 centimeters. For male, you cannot be on tiptoes. However, you have to stand flat on the ground and then you have to put your whole palm on 212 centimeter mark line. The next eligibility criteria is that you need to be at least 21 years of age. That's it. The next eligibility criteria is fluent in written and spoken English. Point number 6. You should possess a 10+2 certificate from any recognized board or university. Point number 7. You should have 1 year of either hospitality or customer service experience. Again, this is subjective to airline. However, majority of the airline wants 1 year of customer service or hospitality experience from the candidates. Now, here comes the end to the first segment. Now, moving on to the second segment, which was what is the first step you need to take to become a cabin crew. Now, assuming the fact that you are eligible to apply for the role of cabin crew, moving on to the second segment. Now, the second segment talks about what is the first step you need to take to become a cabin crew. Complete your 10+2 or 12th from any recognized board or university and make sure you have the mark sheet along with you. That is the first step. Now, the second step is prepare your CV or resume plays the most important role in a selection process. So you have to be very smart and calculative about what you put in your CV. A good resume or a good CV actually makes or breaks your job profile. That you have to prepare a very good CV to be selected in any of the cabin crew or any interview in search. So if you want me to make a video regarding how I made my own CV, which was all the airlines that I worked for, I never changed my CV because it was that touchwood, that efficient, and this particular CV led me to all the jobs that all the airlines that I worked for. This particular CV was my constant. So if you want me to make a video regarding that, do mention in the comment section as CV preparation This is the keyword. Mention CV preparation. I will make a video regarding it so that it's easier for you to make your own CV and what are the important points that you need to put in your CV to get selected or shortlisted faster. Alright, moving on to the next point. Formal passport size photograph. This is the most important thing that you need to have. I have seen a lot of photographs which are actually passport size but not formal. So in formal, what you need to do is that you can wear a collared shirt, both for female or male, or you can use your own smartphone as well. Make sure the background is of a monotone. And for international airlines, two colors are applicable, that is white and blue. These two colors are only applicable. So make sure you click a picture either in blue background or in white background. Now moving on to the next step, passport. If you have a passport, great. If you don't have a passport, apply it as soon as possible. It is a government ID, I would say that, which is required more or less everywhere. So make sure you have your passport ready in hand. And if you do not have the passport with you, make sure you carry your government ID, that is specifically, I would say, Aadhaar card with you during the interview. Now, all the steps that I'm saying is for domestic airlines interview. All right. Now, moving on to the last segment, which is the most crucial segment, is that you have to log into your own preferred airline. I'm taking as an example of Indigo Airlines. Now, I want to apply for the role of cabin crew in Indigo Airlines. Now, I will move to the official page or official site of Indigo Airlines and move to the career section where I would find the venue, date and time where the walk-in interview is taking place for Indigo Airlines, and I will proceed to that venue. So now, in majority of the domestic airlines, you do not have to register before going to the interview. You can just carry your CV, your government ID, the passport size photographs, your highest educational qualification certificate, and directly go to the venue to give the interview. This is the most easiest process you can apply. Trust me, guys. So this was it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it helpful and informative. If you liked the video, please do give a thumbs up if you found it informative, and subscribe to my channel. It's completely free and it would give you, more. I will try to give out more information regarding the interview updates, and I will love to clear out all your doubts. So if you have any doubt, mention it in the comment section. I will make a video regarding that as a question answer video so that it's easier for you to, and for me as well, to clear out the doubts. And that's about it. Do mention where you're watching it from. That's it. Much love to everyone. I really pray that you get selected as a cabin crew, and of course you will get selected. I mean, of course, you are working so hard for it. Of course you will get selected. So let's just say that meet you guys on board. Alright? Meet you on board. Bye-bye.